Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, this is actually a very random video, but it's a thought that came up to mind recently because, I'm obviously in this very, I guess, unique journey of entrepreneurship where I have all these different visions and all these different goals, and all the work that I'm putting in towards those goals have a really deep meaning behind it. And I guess in this video it's sort of a reminder to myself and to my future self about why I even started all of this and what I truly see behind it all, right? Because it's obviously, people get into online business because of the fact that it offers all of these different money-making opportunities, which is definitely a very special factor to recognize, because that's like the whole point of it, is being able to make money. But there's so many different meanings, I guess personally for me, about what's behind that money, right? And I guess I'm not sure if you notice, I actually have a new desk set up, so this is actually pretty cool. I'm probably gonna film a lot more here. Let's cut to the chase, right? So, I started this entrepreneurial journey with one very simple goal in mind, initial goal in mind, which was less of a goal and more of a fear, right? And it was more of the fear of being average. And, I lived in a very particular city, which is the city of Bangkok, which might seem, a little bit like innocent, but there were so many things that I had seen around me that made me understand that I never ever wanted to be like the people that were around me, right? Like I hated the environment of individuals that I was in, and it really triggered that fear of being average and that fear of having to go on about life like this, right? And so that's really obviously one of the things that had triggered out. I had experienced a lot of different things at a very young age that got me into self-development, right? So the things that I had experienced at such a young age made me realize that I never ever wanted to be like the people that were around me. Instead of actually growing up around people who I wanted to be like, I grew up around people who I never ever wanted to be like. And that was a big realization for me that truly triggered that fear and that pursuit to self-development, right? And so the initial goal of it all was actually just, being able to be at peace, being able to have a good mindset, being able to actually be okay with myself, like that sounds a little bit like depressing, but it was just being able to be at peace and being able to live with myself. Again, that sounds horrible, but the entire point is I didn't like the environment that I was in at all. And my initial pursuit was just being able to clock out of the world and just be in a peaceful place, right? And that all starts obviously with self-development. That all starts with, the whole like reading books and, all the working out, going to the gym, eating healthy, all those stuff, right? And eventually it sort of leaned me into finances, which is definitely a factor to consider in terms of self-development and personal development. Like if you're trying to become independent, you will need to be financially independent, and if you want to live a life at peace, you're gonna have to be able to afford to go to places that offer a certain peace, right? And so as I had understood this, I started forming up that mindset and lifestyle of just being able to be rich and just like be quiet and on my own, right? That was like the initial goal, is just get rich and disappear. And so I tried that with trading, because that's sort of what trading most definitely offers. You can quite literally get very rich from trading and just be off the grid, right? That was the initial goal that I had in mind, and that's sort of why I got into trading. And once I got into trading, that's when I truly got a taste of what the financial online space was about. And especially at that time, this was around COVID, right? So at that time when I had COVID, I was actually in a hospital bed. They locked me up for like two weeks. I don't know why I just said 2 years, 2 weeks. Oh my god, I remember I was taking like 18 pills a day. It was crazy. But yeah, that time really truly allowed me to reflect on this entire journey, right? And I had always had that gut feeling of knowing that I wanted to live a successful life, and that I wanted to be an individual who is responsible for her finances and all these different things, right? And so, at that time, that's when the online make money, online business space sort of emerged. So, on social media and on my actual page on social media, I was seeing a lot of these different things, which even triggered, which was just fuel to the fire, right? Fuel to the fire that I already had, which was just being able to be successful at a young age, right? It's kind of crazy that I'm talking about this now, because this is very, very long upbringing. Even though I'm nowhere near where I want to be, it started off very long ago, right? And I'm gonna sort of skip past this part. And basically after that, as I went through my entrepreneur journey and as I experienced all these different things, all the different business models that I was pursuing, all the failures that I had experienced, all the successes that I had experienced, it just changed everything for me. Like, I never, ever would have imagined that I would be here in the point that I am right now. But now that I am here, I have so many different visions and dreams ahead of me, right? And I guess that was the whole point of this video, was to talk about that and less about how this all occurred, but I'll get into that right now. And I had understood since I truly got in it, since I truly got into online business, I'm pretty sure it was around 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago, that's when I truly started my first content agency. And then before that, that's when I was, in trading. And even though I was starting my content agency, I was still trading. But back then, I always had that vision of wanting to be a, successful business owner, and being able to actually navigate as a CEO, right? Navigate as somebody who gives out certain commands because I have the visions that I have, and because I am confident in the way that I organize all these different milestones that I set for myself. And so, back then I understood that the entire point of this was to be able to, every single business model that I was trying, trading, my content agency, my advertising agency, and now my personal brand, the vision of it all really came down to my personal life and the impact that I wanted to make on the world. So the mindset that I had before was really about going ghost and just focusing on myself. But my vision now is I don't even care about like that anymore. Maybe when I'm 30 and I have kids, that's when I would probably go off the grid. But my visions at the moment are really solely focused on actually making an impact on the world. Back then, to be honest with you, I forced myself to be selfish because I had to. And nowadays, I want to be as selfless as possible. And that comes down to the impact that I truly want to make on this world. It's not just about running all these successful businesses and being able to make money online, but it's truly doing so because I make an impact, right? And so, it's because I understood all these different things about the world at such a young age, things I hated, things I understood about the world, which triggered this dream of wanting to be the first to change it and genuinely make a good impact rather than an impact that was damaging everybody, right? And so you might be a little bit confused about it. Don't even worry about it, because the point is, right, it's the fact that from day one of my content agency, I was trying to find a way to make money so that I could have enough to not only support myself, but to be able to show people exactly why I do what it is that I do and what life you can get from that. It's the fact that I've visualized that life for so long and understood the potential of it, and understood how amazing it would be to live that life. And the mission that I had set for myself was being able to show people how to do the same thing, right? How they can pursue the exact same thing, and really just showing them the true beauty of what this world has to offer. You know, even though I haven't seen all of it, I have seen quite a lot, and I've felt a lot throughout this entire journey. Even through the pursuit of it, I've understood so much about the world that I want to share with everybody, right? I want to share the most beautiful things about this world. I want to share the beautiful things about entrepreneurship, the beautiful things alongside failure, the beautiful things alongside this journey that I've set myself on, even from day zero when I was on that hospital bed during COVID. That switch that I had in my mind of wanting to find peace for myself, even then, that's where it all truly started, right? It wasn't when I started trading, or it wasn't when I started my first content agency, but it was truly when I had that fire in my mind that I wanted to have this kind of life. And, you know, the other side of that is being able to live life on your own terms. And I truly think that everybody deserves that, right? It's just a shame that in today's world, not everybody gets the privilege of that, because they get led on the wrong path, or they get led on a path that doesn't give them the right, I guess you could say, return on investment for the work they put in, right? And it generally comes down to me wanting to show people the true beauty of it all, you know. And it's funny because even though I'm saying all this now, even though I'm not that successful, I know for a fact that every single thing I say on this camera, on this video, even though I'm at 0 right now, I would be saying the exact same things in 5 years when I'm successful, because I hold the same beliefs. And these beliefs come down to the fact that as a human being, you deserve to see the most beautiful sides of the world and the most beautiful sides of life. It's being able to see the power within all the failures. It's being able to embrace all the failures. It's being able to understand and foresee your potential and actually work towards it and achieve it. It's being able to actually see the most beautiful places in the world in terms of like location wise. You know, there's so many beautiful places in the world. And I guess I can say this because like the place that I live in is sort of the place that people travel to retire. So I've seen a lot, right? I've seen how beautiful this world can be. And I've understood that really all I want to do is just be able to see it all. Be able to see what God has put on this beautiful planet. But the only way I can do that is if I have time, location, financial freedom in a remote sort of income stream, right? And the best way to actually do that is obviously being able to do so with online business. And that's truly the big impact of this entire movement. It's this movement of being able to become financially independent, being able to make money online, being able to work for yourself or even for others. Like, you can make a lot working for others with online business. You know, you don't have to be the CEO, but you can live such an amazing life online and do all the things that a CEO would, right? And really, the fact that I've understood all this, the fact that I've seen all these, you know, things with the online space, I understand the fact that it's real. And, you know, I may not be there yet, but the gut feeling that I have is enough to tell me that this is real. You know, the fact that I know it's real is the main thing that keeps me motivated every single day. Even though I failed all these different businesses, in fact, I failed 4 businesses, the one thing that keeps me going is knowing that this is real and that anybody has the potential to get there. And, you know, obviously, it's being able to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, like, am I truly committed to this? Is my vision strong enough to make me realize that this could genuinely be my life? You know, it's not just having a dream or a vision that's like, oh, like, that would be cool. It's like genuinely having this vision and understanding that this could genuinely be your life if you put in the work. It could genuinely be your life if you put in the work. And I understood this, and I understand that obviously it's going to take a long time to do so, even if the journey is this long, right? There's still a time gap in between. Even if you try to shorten it, there's still going to be that time to go through, right? So I understood this, like, since day one, that obviously there's going to be time as a factor to consider, but you know, it's the fact that there is that end point. There's that end point of the fact that this vision that you have in your mind could genuinely be your future. It could genuinely be your life. And the journey that comes with that is one to embrace. The fact that I have this YouTube channel is because I'm here to document that journey. It's because I'm here to share this message of the fact that anybody can get this life. You know, and I may not be a mega trazillionaire yet, but I've seen enough at this age to understand that life can be so amazing if you genuinely put your mind to it, if you genuinely put your mind to working towards the right things and to pursuing what you know you want to do, instead of having to rely on money from an income stream and from an environment that you don't want to be in. Like that's what you need, you know? And I guess like having understood all this and having understood all these things about the world, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense or not. I'm really just trying to speak my heart out here. And it's because I have all these visions, you know, and I guess sometimes I sort of quote unquote struggle to put it into concise words, even though like I'm trying my best to speak as best as possible right now. These visions it can't be explained. It cannot be explained, and it can only be demonstrated. It can only be shown, and that's why I'm documenting my journey. But the fire behind all of that is the fact that there's such a beauty out there in this world that I have seen, that all the things I've felt, all the things that I've experienced and that I've forced myself to experience have embraced me in such a way that it has opened my mind to like infinite opportunities. And I truly want people to know what that's like, and because I know that if they did know what that's like, their life could change forever, just like it did for mine. You know, but for me, it really originated from all these different weird experiences that I had throughout my life and that I put myself throughout this entire life, and then just coming to the conclusion that really there are opportunities in this world that can truly give you like everything that you want, right? And you know, it's being able to not only document my way there, but being able to live that life and show people what it's truly like. You know, I may not be able to demonstrate that right now as much as I would want to, but I know again that every single thing I say in this video I will repeat in 5 years, because it all originates from your heart, right? And it's the fact that later on, like I genuinely want to make my life a movie, not just a life where I'm able to see all these amazing places in the world, where I'm able to run all these businesses and see all these beautiful places in the world, but it's actually being able to document it all and genuinely make a movie out of my life. Like I don't just want to live a normal life. I genuinely want to make my life a movie, and I genuinely want to document it and show the world what your life can be like as well, right? That's the vision that comes with it. It's being able to truly embrace who I feel I am in here, even though I'm not able to do that yet. I know that it's there, right? And the vision with that is being able to finally embrace it later and finally live it later, right? Honestly, I don't even know. Like I feel like that's sort of a struggle that I have as an entrepreneur, is the fact that I have all these different visions and I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to word it in ways that's going to make sense to an average person that's watching this, right? Or any individual for the matter. But you know, like it's not just wanting to change people's lives, but it's genuinely like I have all these little moments as well. Like I can talk broad and talk about how I want to change people's lives and see beautiful places in the world, but all the small little wins that I think about and all these small little moments that I dream of actually making happen are the things that motivate me. You know, it's like being able to like just go out on the street in a somewhat poor area and just give thousands of dollars to like a local woman who's working super hard, and just seeing her crack a smile and be super happy, or it's being able to, you know, be in like a supercar and you know, see a kid that's super like excited to see the car and just letting him in, or like taking him for a drive or taking her for a drive, and just being able to have all these little moments where I'm genuinely able to inspire, you know, because I've understood so many things about the world that have empowered me, and all I really want is being able to show others the same thing, right? And then obviously it's being able to take care of my parents, and it's being able to show my parents especially how beautiful this world is, and how beautiful the world that they've put me in is, you know. And it's being able to show that with all my other loved ones. It's being able to do every single thing that I envision myself doing. It's being able to run all these successful businesses, retire my parents, to be able to take care of people. It's being able to show people how to get this life. Like, that's truly the vision. And obviously being able to thrive as who I know I'm supposed to be, and as who I know God has made me meant to become, you know. I didn't word that right. Not only am I wanting to do this so that I can inspire others to live the life that I'm going to be living in 5 years, but it's being able to actually thrive as the individual that I know I'm meant to be, and that God has destined me to be. There you go. That was worded a lot better, but that's like truly the vision that I have, you know. And I may never be able to explain it in verbal words, but I guess this is also, you know, something I can look back on later and it will just be self-explanatory. You know, I'm not trying to like concisely explain every single detail about my vision, but the fact that I'm filming this video and trying to do so will act as a demonstration later on, once I'm able to document every single thing that I talk about today, and it'll just be self-explanatory. You know, it will just be demonstrated. Like, I can talk about all of this, but it has no value in it until I'm able to manifest it, right? And so, you know, I obviously understand that, but again, just documenting is pure evidence, because I know I have that vision in my heart, and I know that even though right now I don't have much, the one thing that I do have is everything that it takes to get there. That right now it's only a matter of time and work. But yeah, like I live with these thoughts every single day, you know, looking forward to the future, and always like these are thoughts that I have every single day, and these are the thoughts that motivate me every single day to work towards making that happen. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it here because I need to actually work. But you know, I'm glad I was able to film this video to sort of brainstorm. I really do apologize if it doesn't make sense. Either way, it's just being able to document my process within it all. Even if it's about me brainstorming my ideas, it's still a moment throughout my journey that's meant to be documented, right? So yeah, I'm gonna get back to work. But if you're watching this video, I appreciate you watching this video. And, you know, just remember that if you have that vision in your mind and it's as strong as mine, and if you understand what I'm talking about, let me remind you that you have everything it takes to get there, and that the only thing left is time, consistency, and input. And now I sort of have to apply that, so I'm gonna get back to work. But I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope that my future self can look back on this, and the individuals that I help will be able to look back on this and understand that it's truly from the soul.